Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Season's greetings to you all. So, in keeping with the season, we are going to build a little Christmas-themed holiday log cabin on the shores of Somersville Lake today to keep that vibe going. So let's jump in. Okay, so log cabin on the shore of Somersville Lake. I had a little look on Google image search at log cabins. There's quite a lot of good ideas there to sort of get you rolling if you want to do something like this. But let's have a look where we are first. Back on the shore of Somersville, as I say, there's a little cabin. And we are just down from Somersville there. We've got Overlook Cabin there. We're on the eastern side of the lake, just by the road. Built here not so long ago. It was a good flat spot and works quite well for this sort of thing. There's a white spring over there. Decent little spot, and a little popular though, so that is a bit of a drawback to it, but should be fine for the Christmas season. So, as usual, we'll start off with the foundations. Tends to be the way to go if you don't want your roof to fall down. With this one, we're going to have a foundation that is going to be 3 across and then run back 6 foundations all told. The front and back rows will be porches rather than the main building, but that's going to be the basic size of it. Initially here I had to make a few adjustments and it starts out as 3x5, but we'll add the last foundations later. Pro tip, just put the front row in and then check you've got the thing lined up properly, because otherwise you have to remove a lot more foundations. Which is what I had to do here. So, a little adjustment so it's more flush with the road. Unfortunately here the grasses were a little bit awkward about poking through the foundations. When I actually came back to it and logged out, logged back in and stuff, it kind of accommodated a little better, but was mildly annoying initially. I faff around with it for a bit to try and get that sorted, but all in all, came out quite well. Did simple shape and build this one. There's a couple of cool little bits and pieces to it though that I really like and makes for a nice festive vibe. So, foundations in, we'll get the walls in. As I said, front and back we'll leave foundations without walls for now. Although we do need to add the back foundations yet. And we'll put some internal walls in. So we've got our rooms divided off here. There we go. Nice and easy. So that's the main layout. It's basically an alpine cabin type vibe, or it will be. So with the main structure together, let's have a look at the upper floor. One of the problems with things like this is they can sometimes end up looking too tall. Which was a bit of a struggle, and it kind of came out that way on this one, but I did want an upstairs, so I'll have to work with that. It came out alright. So I'm using half walls there rather than full-size ones, just to kind of keep that height down a little bit. I'm going to look through the options available on the roofing situation. The log cabin roofs are good and nice, but unfortunately we're going to hit a slight snag in a moment, which is that we don't have the full selection of pieces available. In terms of the caps, we only have this flat roof. We don't have the sort of single-sized arched ones, those ones. So I had to make do with the standard one for most of it, the standard roof set, because I didn't want a flat centerpiece of the roof. I wanted it to have a point on it. Bit more of an interesting shape that way. As usual, while I'm testing, it decided to be awkward and wouldn't snap to the roofs in place already, so I'll have to get a wall in there to support the centerpiece, which is absolutely fine, as that's what I'm going to be doing anyway. I'm going to stick some of the greenhouse walls in here, let a little natural light in, at least into the bedroom, because that's what's going to be up here. Just have a quick eyeball of it. Looks like that should work okay. But we'll swap these roofs out so that everything matches. Otherwise we'll have a dark strip running down the middle, which you can go with if you like, but would look a bit odd to my eye. Well, start getting these roofs in, see how everything looks, and we'll put some walls in. Just to mix things up a little bit, we're going to stick with the solid log cabin corner pieces here, just on top of the glass walls, just to make the shape a little bit more interesting. We're going to figure out how to get this piece in. Come on, there we go. Nice. So there we go, slightly more interesting front aspect. We'll move on inside. I'm going to use the log cabin staircase that came in previous season. Couple of issues with this one, mainly that there are gaps at the sides which are slightly annoying. Once we get the walls in on top, the problem will solve. We need to get the floors in first. We also need to make some small adjustments to the position of the walls underneath as well, but we'll get to that in a moment. For now, I'm going to test putting these floors in. I think the fact the walls are not in quite the right place is the reason those floors wouldn't go in on the sides. But it does kind of work from the end anyway. So I'll drop those in. Come on. There we go. And as I say, you see we've got some rather large gaps, which is not ideal. So I want to kind of pull the walls out so that the other side of the dividing line on the foundation's there. That way it'll plug the gap up a little better and sit a little more flush with the staircase. Unfortunately, once you've got an upper floor in, these things start to get awkward, so we're going to have to take everything out again. I'm going to have to take some more walls out so I can get the staircase out as well. Come on. There we go. Still going to have to take one more out, which is the doorway in this case. And now it comes out. Very glad it didn't decide to make me start over. That would have been annoying. So we're going to pop these walls back one, so they're on the outside here. Well, just off that little line, because they were on the inside previously. With the end pieces, make sure that they're in the right place, otherwise you get a gap on the corner like that. So you have to push those back to the inside. Like that, and then it closes up just fine. So with that sorted out, let's get the staircase back in. Nice and easy. Get the floors back in, and the gap's a bit smaller, and now when we put the walls in, you won't be able to see it at all. So back onto the log cabin walls. Going to use half walls again all the way around the outside, or on the sides. Now we'll switch back to the full-size ones for the internals. Don't really want windows there. Do want doors though. Obviously this one's not ideal with it slightly overlapping the staircase, but it'll do. You can power through fine. I'll make do with the space we have available. Wrong wall there, as that's just going to stick out through the roof. I mean, technically it'll work, but it won't look great. I'll get some half walls in, and some triangles just to match up with the roof. Wrong side. There we go. Nice. And for this back wall, I'm going to repeat what I did on the front and use the glass walls again. Just using the half walls because the full-size ones have a big metal bar across the bottom of them, and the half ones just look a little better. If you want floor-to-ceiling walls anyway, which I do here. Or floor-to-ceiling glass anyway. So, onto the roofs. We'll carry on what we were doing before, and then we'll line down the middle with the roof caps. Make sure we've got the double open ends in the middle, and then closed ends at each end so that you can basically seal the structure off. And there we go. Unfortunately, I cannot get a door to snap on here, I think because of the position of the walls being on the inside, or outside, depending on how you look at it. But we'll manage without. So, porches here. These are going to be a bit more complex and interesting. They're not difficult exactly, but they're a bit of a variation. So, I'll have a look at these in some detail. I can't get the roof cap on the front here because there's no support for it. So, we'll pull the walls out and just pop this forward one, like that. Stick a wall back in. And now the roof will go on the top. And conveniently, because the two side roofs will now support it, I could take that wall back out again. Although, just to be awkward as per, for some reason I can't put the doorway back where I want it. Hell knows why. Just helpful like that, I guess. So, we'll have to take this floor out. Now we can pop it back into place. And we can put all of the walls and the floor back. So, back over to the glass pieces, plug that gap. We'll run around upstairs and put that floor back in. So out here, I'm going to use broken log cabin wall pieces because they take kind of posts and railings when they're damaged, which is quite cool. I've put two small ones on the bottom here at the front, and they should actually be large ones, so I will be changing that out during the decoration phase. So you want large ones at the bottom, short ones at the top, the half walls at the top, because that way when we destroy things, they will look better. I actually did destroy these top sections as well, but you don't need to do that because I ended up repairing them, and we want the half walls at the top to be solid instead. Again, that's something I will correct during the decoration phase. Just head over to the back and just quickly throw a porch on here, and we'll jump back to the front again in a minute. Which was my slightly disorganised thinking when I'm building. This one's going to be a little bit shorter than the porch on the front, just because I wanted to mix things up. So we'll find the roof pieces. We'll actually be able to use the log cabin set on this side because we will be using a flat cap so that it doesn't overlap the window at the top. So let's have a hunt around and find that. Oh no, we'll plug the gaps first. That works too. So flat roof on the top. Unfortunately, I can't put it on the way around I'd like, but we'll manage. Grab that flamethrower trap again and just damage these walls. Because I want the railings, not the solid walls. Let's a bit more light in. Still going to leave the triangular pieces on there as solid pieces though. And we'll quickly swap these roofs out now for the log cabin ones because it'll work and they look better. They match the walls and the railings we now have in place. Nice and easy. Fortunately, they still snap into place. I think mostly because of the triangular piece more than the broken walls, but broken walls don't seem to stop you snapping stuff on top. So, back round to the front, and as I say, we've got these walls upside down, but we'll change them in the decoration phase. If you guys are doing something similar, you can avoid the problem by not putting them the wrong way up first time. I want one across the top here, which unfortunately won't go in unless I build it from the ground up. However, I can just pull them back out again after we've got it, because it's supported by the roof apparently. Or the walls, possibly. Either way, it works. So we'll want to swap these front ones over, as I say, so that we can have solid half walls at the top, and then frames at the bottom the size of a full wall piece. But until I get that figured out, let's put the flamethrower trap back into place. If you're quick enough with it, you don't even have to repair the flamethrower trap. You can do at least 2 at a time. Speeds things along a bit. You see we have a frame in place there. It makes a slightly different looking front aspect. But, tour time. So there we go. Structure built, decoration done, and a couple of little extra bits added that we'll talk about when we get to them. Lots and lots of decoration done on this one to give it that festive vibe. Quite like how it's come out. So it's a little taller than I'd have liked, but we can manage. You can see I've got those half wall pieces that are intact at the top that hang a little lower than the front entrance. It just makes a bit more of an interesting shape. So I've got a couple of side annexes that I've put on that we'll have a look at from the back in a moment, as those spaces were needed, but I've tucked an extra foundation on here just to put my player vending in. Fairly simple, a couple of signs, Vault Boy, a few bits and pieces just to make it look a little bit more interesting. Loads of festive decorations. I used everything I've got here, really. Snowmen and Santa Claus. For those icicles, they only attach to ceilings, really, and not to walls, so I've put the metal shelves on the walls where I wanted the icicles, which was a simple solution to allow me to have them sort of part way up a wall as opposed to hanging directly from the roof, which they didn't really want to do here, so it kind of works, gives it that nice kind of Christmassy vibe. A couple of the aluminium Christmas trees out front, some waving Santas. I seem to remember the snowman making really creepy noises, by the way, but apparently they're not doing that anymore. I don't know if something's been changed or not, but I will take it as a win, frankly. Got some blinking Christmas lights inside. And I've used the Thanksgiving kids table as a Christmas dinner table, because it works, you know. It's nice to have some decoration on the table for a change. I'm happy to have those. Got a little festive sitting area, sitting room there. Christmas tree and stockings on the fireplace. Put some Thanksgiving display cases in there just to decorate it up a little bit. And combine it with some Fashion Act display decorations rather as well. The little green leaves and boughs on the wall, I guess. Those kind of fit the Christmas vibe as well, and our Christmas decorations are a tad limited. So let's push on through to the back half of the build. Have a look under the stairs here. You can see we've got my shelter entrance, which is the vault utility room. To get that in, I just took the foundation out that's under the stairs here, positioned it in under the stairs. I would have liked to have raised it up a little more, but because it's under the stairs, I couldn't pop that shelter entrance any higher. But I was then able to just snap the foundation straight back through, and there we go, a hatch in the floor. So we've got a little kitchen over here. Foodie vibes going on. Again, looking forward to the day we have a few more kitchen-style decorations, but we managed. Got a little sink in there, and washing facilities and cooking facilities. Unfortunately, curtains don't quite fit in this particular set. The windows are too wide for the curtains we have available, which is slightly frustrating, but we'll make do. Still looks better than having no curtains. Just. This is a functional camp, of course, so I needed somewhere to do my crafting, especially as I'll probably stay here for the next couple of weeks. So, little crafting room here at the back. I did think about making this a bathroom and putting an extra bedroom in upstairs, but As I say, needed the crafting space, so squeezed most of the stuff in here. Happy with how it's come out. Looks pretty good. Compact, but enough room to move around. So we'll head on out the back door. Speaking of doors, because of the way round I've got these internal doors, unfortunately they don't sit quite properly in the frames and there's a little gap which is kind of annoying. Just something that happens with the log cabin set, I'm afraid, but I mean, it's not too bad at a glance, but when you notice it, you kind of can't miss it, which is annoying. So a few little bits and pieces out on the decking now, on the back porch. A little table to chill out at, and a foosball table as well. And for these annexes, the first one here is just a couple of foundations, a couple of angled roofs on top of the walls. Needed to be a little taller this side because I needed to fit the generator in. And I tucked a symptomatic in here because, well, I didn't really have anywhere else to put it. And it's good to have one of those in your camp as well. The wires aren't quite as neat as I would like them to be on this one, but it kind of works. I used the conduits to get the wires to go through the walls and then just extended them around the frame of the building. I would have liked to have had an extra wall piece hanging from the roof there to match the front, but unfortunately you wouldn't be able to get through if I did that. So we'll make do. On this side we've got sloped roofs on the annex just to make it a little bit more compact and a little bit more interesting to look at as we squeeze the last of the workbenches in here. Chemistry station, brewing stations and a power armor station at the back, along with a few stash boxes and a little bit of lighting just to dress it up a little bit. I did have to take the roofs off to put a lot of the stuff in here and then snap the roofs on after I got the furniture in. With the what's this one? The fermenting station there on the right, I did have to put that on that side because the roof's too low on the other side. So either you can't snap the roof in, or if the roof's in place first, then it jumps onto the top of it. So got to do what we got to do, but needs must dictating the shape there. We'll head back on in, have a look upstairs. Should mention, by the way, that with the decoration on this one, we are pretty much smack bang on the limit of the budget as well. I like how it's come out. Reasonably festive. I would like a few more Christmas decorations to put around. I could have squeezed maybe a few more fashion act bits in there. These star balloons go quite well. Those don't look too out of place. Yeah, there we go. There's another door that doesn't quite sit on the frame. A fairly standard little bathroom. A little bit of light and the essentials in here. Again, limited selection of stuff at the moment. And I've still got to keep an eye out for that shower when it reappears on the Atomic Shop. But for now, that'll do the job nicely. We'll head into the kids' bedroom. So, not a lot of room in here, so I have to kind of pack stuff in reasonably tightly. We've got a single bed tucked in the corner, comics, a few plushies, little toy chest, sheep squatch hanging out behind the door. I even managed to squeeze in a nice comfy little chair and a train set. Kind of works for a Christmas vibe. Somebody's getting train set for Christmas apparently. Or already has had one. And we'll head on out to the master bedroom, I suppose. Space, arguably, because we haven't got a door on here. The space is kind of large for making a bedroom in. Leaves it quite wide and open, but look, we'll drop a piano in there, a couple of other nice bits and pieces, and it sort of works. It's spacious. Not quite as private as one might generally like, but you can make do in your holiday cabin. Look, dressing tables and the like, and its own little Christmas tree. So fairly simple up here, but it looks neat and tidy. Reasonable level of detail. I'm quite happy with how it's come out. As I say, there's not much more room on the budget to add any further detail either, even if I wanted to, so we are chock full on this one. So there we go, make our way downstairs and have a little look at the festive decorations down here once again. Our fireplace is quite nice for adding a few little bits and pieces on the mantelpiece as well. Little cookie clock over the top. As I say, the Fashion Act decorations pull double duty for Christmas quite nicely. As do the Thanksgiving decorations as well, to be fair. And a little mannequin in the corner with a Santa outfit on it. Kind of wish the mannequin had a face on it at the moment, but I wanted to mix things up a bit. It takes up a little less room than these animatronics do. So there we go, one Christmas festive log cabin. I do hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, you guys know where all the likes, subs, social media links and all that good stuff are down below the video. I very much appreciate it if you hit those buttons. And do check out the merch store as well. I very much appreciate the support. For now, thank you very much for watching. Do catch live streams as and when if you can, and have yourselves a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year.